Hello, I hope you're having a good day today. I just wanted to quickly share something that I've gotten wisdom about, you can say. Um, it's about the love of God. You always hear people say, yeah, God loves you, and so on. But today, I think it really was from the Lord. It could have, it, could have been from someone else, like Satan. It basically was like no one can love you like God does, because I see so many young girls and boys and people of all ages dressing to look nice and to appeal to the other gender, and so on. These people in the relationships which are ungodly, they only like one another because of their appearance and how they look. Even though people might be like, oh yeah, but there is true love, but usually people like one another or start liking one another because of how they look and not because of the heart. Because the only person that can know your heart is the Lord Himself, who made you, who fearfully formed you. And with that goes the verse from John 3:16. For God so loved the world, or you can say, you can substitute the world to everyone, every person on earth, that He gave His only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in Him should not perish but have everlasting life. For God sent not His Son into the world to condemn the world, but that the world through Him might be saved. He that believeth on Him is not condemned, but he that believeth not is condemned already, because he hath not believed in the name of this only begotten Son of God. People can't really grasp onto the idea when we, as Christians, tell them that He died on the cross for us. What that means exactly, because it's not just like being hung up on the cross and dying there. You must know the details and why He did it and who did it, because Jesus was not some guy. He was God Himself, who came down from heaven, left His glory, reincarnated as a human being. His baby, in the story where it's written about when He was born into a pot, you can say, for people. For animals that eat out of the pot. So the God of the whole universe, who created everything, every plant, every animal, every living being, everything, He could have chosen to go into a rich family. No, but He chose the lowest living standard. He became humble before we even recognized Him as the one who He truly is. He became humble in the flesh for us, to live a perfect life and to sacrifice Himself for us. He took upon Himself hell so we wouldn't have to. And recently I've watched some videos on the medical view on the death of Jesus and how He was tortured and so on. The Bible isn't really that specific about how He was tortured, but there are some medical records that have been found, you can say, and that show how He was tortured in the specific ways that are described even in the Bible. So there were some when He was being tortured and being held on to be hit with some, I think, leather strings. I don't know the exact word for that, but you know what I mean. These strips, these long, basically he was struck with them, and because they weren't just leather strips, they also had like some stones or some iron parts in it. So with hitting him so much and so hard, the strings and the stones tore apart his flesh to the part where you could see the muscles and even the bones. That must have been really, 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 really painful. Then, before the crucifixion, he was sweating blood. He was having, like you may know, a really, really, really bad anxiety attack. And if you had one of those already, you might know how horrible they are, because you get headaches and you just overreact to everything. Because he knew the cup he has to drink, as it states in the Bible. Then on the crucifixion, the thorns of roses that were formed to crown him on the cross, they weren't the tiny needles on the rose plants that you might know. They were really long. They were, I think, up to 10 centimeters, so they were pushed into his scalp. It just is unimaginable how that must be. Also, on top of that, he had to carry the cross, which is about, I think, 40 kilograms, up a hill until complete exhaustion, sweating blood, already with the wounds open on his back, with the crown of thorns, which are in his head. Then when he was there, the nails that were to hold him on the cross they weren't put into the palm of his hand, because if they were put there, the flesh would have torn, and the hand wouldn't have been a good thing to hold onto the cross. They put the 15 centimeters needles into the wrist of the hand, and the wrist of the hand, in the middle of that there is a bone which also is connected to the main nerve system, which goes back to the arm and to the head. So they tore apart his bone and the nerve system, and on top of that they also did that with his feet. So the doctor said that because the nerve is so sensible to pain, when he wanted to breathe, he couldn't, so he had to exchange the pain being in his hand to resting on his foot. And that goes on and on for hours until he finally gave up his spirit to God and sacrificed himself finally to him. I hope this video helped you understand or like even grasp the love of God. I don't know in what situation you're in or in what lifestyle you're in, but if you haven't watched my other video with the dream I had, I plead with you, please watch it, because it's really important. I think we really are there. Just look at the Luciferian walks in America on the 21st June. Just getting so unbelievable. I can't even... This world is so corrupt. So just please go watch it and let the Spirit lead you. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a blessed day.